Hello there, welcome to this fifth video of Photoshop tutorials by Prime World. In today's video, we are going to be looking at the tools bar. We are going to start looking at the tools in the tools bar. And as you should know, this bar here is called the tools bar, and you can see that it contains a host of tools. Okay, so for a start, we are going to be looking at the first two tools. This one called the move tool with the shortcut V, and this one called the rectangular marquee tool with the shortcut M. So these are the two we are going to be looking at in this video. So one major thing you need to know about the tools in the toolbar is whenever you are selected on one, okay, like for instance, if I select this marquee tool, take note of this bar, the bar just under the menus bar, this bar here, it is called the properties bar. So whichever tool you are selected on, the properties for that tool appears. Like now we are in the move tool and the properties for the move tool appear. If we are in the marquee tool, the properties for the marquee tool appears here. Okay, and for you to be able to use any tool, you have to first select it. So let's start with the move tool. As the name implies, it is used for moving objects around your workspace. For instance, I'm currently active, take note, I'm currently active on the background. Okay, the background, the first layer, which is this light blue, sky blue background. So if I left click and drag, notice that I can move the background anywhere I want, so far as that layer of the object is selected. So I can move it anywhere I want. So I'm just going to Ctrl Z this to place it where it was. I can also go to the Instagram logo as you see here, and when I left click on it to select the layer, I can now left click and hold to drag it to whatever position I want to drag it. So this is more or less how the move tool works. And another thing you need to know is that you can move an object from one workspace to another workspace. For example, let me move to this other workspace, this other window that contains this Facebook icon. I can choose to move this Facebook icon to another workspace, like the workspace I was in previously that contained the sky blue background and the Instagram logo. So I can come here, making sure that I'm selected on that particular layer. I can left click and drag and move it to the particular window where I want to place it. And once I see this arrow with a plus sign, I can release my hand and it places the box, the object there. Okay, so let me just quickly resize it to the size of the Instagram logo. Now we are going to be looking at transforming objects in another chapter, so you don't need to worry much about worry at all about having to how to transform. But if you just want to follow me, Control T will bring out the transform box for you to reduce the size of an image. So I just want to reduce this, I want to move this here, and I just want to reduce it to the size that is similar to that of the Instagram logo. Okay, so let's just say we do something like this. So this is how we can move our objects around. Now let's move to the selection to the marquee tool. The marquee tool, if you left click and hold that marquee icon tool, it will bring out other options: rectangular, elliptical, single row, single column. Okay, this marquee tool is like a selection tool. You can use it to select a portion of your your workspace or your image or your object. You can use it to select a portion of it. You can also use it to select multiple portions of your workspace so that you can add an effect to the selected portions. Maybe you want to change the color, okay, of the selected portions. You can do that. So very quickly, let me come to this image here. And what if I just wanted to select out his face? Okay, so I've unlocked the layer now. So all I need to do is go to the marquee tool, and I want to use the circular one, elliptical. So I choose elliptical, and I come here and I click and drag. Okay, I click and drag like this. If you want to form a perfect circle, hold shift down while you are dragging. It will make the circle perfect. Now I click and drag, and I want to, if you notice, I hope you can notice the lines showing. Now I've not released my hand from the shift and the left mouse button. I'm still holding it. Now if you notice, it's not perfectly placed around his face, so there needs to be a way I can move the circle, okay, while still maintaining the shape of the circle. How you can do this is you go ahead and press your space bar, then move your mouse around. So hold down your space bar and move your mouse around. If you want to adjust the circle again, release your hand from the space bar and drag your mouse like this. So adjust it in the size that suits you. Okay, if you still want to position it to your best taste, you hold down the space bar and just move it around. The space bar key, holding it down, enables you to move around the selection that you've created. So you release, once you've placed it where you want it to be, release your hand from the space bar, release your hand from the mouse, release your hand from the shift. So you can see that it has made that selection around the his face. Okay, so all I need to do now is, if I want to move this face, I want to move this selection, whatever is inside this elliptical selection, I want to move it to another workspace. So what do? I simply change it to move to, since we want to perform a move operation. So I just go to where the selection is and left click and drag. So I just drag it to where I want to place it, and I just put it here. Okay, so this is how to, select a portion of an image that you want to use. Now let me go back to that place where I was. Now there's something you can also do. Currently, you can also delete a selection, like a portion. You can choose to delete or cut it and paste it anywhere. If you want to delete it, you just press the delete key on the keyboard and it deletes that selected area. Let me undo this. If you want to cut it, you just press the control plus X and it cuts it. Then you press control V to paste what you've cut. Take note, a new layer has been formed for the cut object. Now let me undo that. Now if I want, it is still cut, it's still a control X. If I want to paste it and I want it to be in the exact position where I cut it from, I press control shift plus V. Control shift for plus V. It has cut it out, but it is perfectly where it was before. So it has created its new layer. So that's what you need to understand. Now let me go back to where I just selected the face. So I press control alt, then press Z severally until it takes me back to this place. Now what if you want to delete the other spaces apart from the place you selected? That is, whatever is outside your selection, what if you wanted to delete that? All you need to do is reverse the selection first. So currently the part that is selected is the part inside the circle, is the part inside the circle. But if I want to select, that's if I want to delete the part outside the circle, I need to first select the part outside the circle. So if I want to reverse the selection, I press Ctrl Shift and I. Ctrl Shift and I. Hold down Ctrl, press Shift, hold down Shift and press I. Okay, hold down Ctrl, hold down Shift and press I. So if you notice, this line has come up, meaning that we have selected the places outside the inner selection. So if I press delete now, it will delete the places outside the selection. So this is how you can delete a the places outside the parts that you selected. If you want to deselect, that's if you want the selection lines to go away, the shortcut to do that is Control D. Okay, let me Control Z again, undo what I did. You can also go to the menu that says select, so you can choose to deselect here. Control D, there is the shortcut. So go to the menu and just say deselect, and it will deselect it. Okay, so let's move back to this our work here. Now another thing we can do to the in the selection marquee selection is, what if, let's say, first and foremost, let me increase the size of this. Let me press Ctrl T. Now let me, now to increase, no, now to increase a shape evenly, we are going to be looking at this in the transform tool, but let me just say it now. You press Alt and Shift and you go to a particular node where you want to drag, then you just drag it and it will increase it evenly across all nodes. So now continuing with the marquee tool, what if I wanted to, now when I select the marquee tool, let's look at the properties bar for the marquee tool. Take note of these squares. Okay, now this one is new selection. If you want to make a new selection, you click on this one. Okay, and you can just drag, make the selection you want. Okay, but if you want to make multiple selection, you cannot afford to use this new selection. You can't afford to be clicked here, because if I come to another place now and I drag, take note that it has formed a new selection here, but the older selection has been taken away. So if you want to do multiple selections, please make sure you are on this option that says add selection. This is the second option. So if I draw a circle here now, do you see that it added to this one? I can draw another circle here now, and you can see that the three selections are still active because I am in add selection. Now if I want to delete from my selection, if I want to subtract selection, I choose this one. Okay, so if I click on this one and I come to this place and I draw a circle around this one I selected, it takes the selection away. Take note, if I draw the circle around this one, it takes the selection away. I can also intersect selection. So if I click here and I just come and draw a circle around close to this one to intersect it, it will leave the intersected portion. You see, the part that intersected will be left selected. So this is how it works. So let me say I want to add another selection. So let's say I want to add another circle here. So I've put multiple selections. So I can choose to do an effect, like I can choose to do something to these selections. Now what if I wanted to fill them with a particular color? So the first thing I need to do is to create a new layer for what I'm about to do. So I just clicked on the new layer option, the create layer option rather, and it has created that layer for me. Then if I wanted to fill it with a particular color, if I wanted these two selections to be filled with a particular color, all I need to do is I come here and specify the color I'm looking for. So let's say I want this purple color. I press, and take note, while this color panel is open, you can click on any place around your workspace to choose a color that you want. So I've just clicked on this Facebook color and you can see that it has gone to blue color. I can click on this Instagram color and you can see that it has gone to purple. So this is how you can select colors that can match what you are already designing. It's a design sense. If you want to select colors that will match the already existing objects in your design, you could just pick a color from one or two of the objects. So I press OK. Now I first select the color. Now if I want to fill the colors now with fill the colors inside these two selections that I made, all I need to press is it Alt Delete? Alt Delete, yes. I press Alt Delete, alternate and delete, ALT. You hold it down and press delete, okay? It will delete the foreground color, okay? The foreground color is it will fill your selection with the foreground color, not delete the foreground color. It will fill your selection with the foreground color, which is this one on top here. If you want to fill it with the background color, which is this one behind here, you press Ctrl and delete, and you can see that it has filled it with this grayish color. But I want to fill it with the foreground color, so I go with Alt Delete. Okay, so this is how you can use your selection tool. So let me press Ctrl D to deselect. So I press Ctrl D to deselect. Okay, now there are still other ones you can use. You can also use the rectangular marquee tool. So let's say I wanted to create it under now, create another one under a layer under this man's face. So I create a new layer here for the rectangular selection. So I come here and I put a selection around here. So making sure I'm still on add selection, I come here and put another selection. Using the space bar, just move it where I want to move it, and just maybe around here. So I could now decide to fill this color now with, let's say, blue. So I press, of course you should know, alternate and delete. Okay, let me Ctrl D to remove the selection. So this more or less fills the color with blue. So I believe you've learned how to move objects around and how to use the selection tool to cut out portions of image and to also fill portions of your workspace with color. So thank you for watching. See you in the next video.